Yeah.
Up there it is.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
we're live.
and you would like set it for longer because I have it set for you have to be subscribed for an hour.
I would do at least 24 hours.
At least 24?
Yeah, because people create bot accounts. They wake up in the morning and they're like, what can I do? Oh, I'm going to troll bitches. And they go and create 100 fucking accounts and do their bot bullshit.
Man, people really do need hobbies, don't they? Mm-hmm. They really, really need to like go play rugby or something. They really need to do something.
So violent. So violent.
I mean, really, because it's like to just wake up and like just think like, oh yeah, I'm going to like make bots and stuff to harass people. It's like, bro, are you okay? Are you all right? I mean, it's like, do you need to go do something?
Oh my gosh.
But
yeah. Well, if the past year has taught us anything, this past year being the past 19 days, people love to resort to violence. So
well, you know what? It's like, look, violence is not the answer, but it is a answer. So it's like,
oh my God. We're not condoning.
No. I'm
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is January 19th, 2026, and this is the Ragin to the vlogs. Sorry. Okay. I need to mute to Hawk 2 for a second.
I know. Yeah, it's like she's going to be Hawk 2 and so much the Federal Trade Commission is going to be showing up.
You ready?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
All right, here we go.
Trigger warning, fuck you.
And fuck you.
No, actually, it's the Securities Exchange Commission. They're the ones that they were investigating Hawk Tua girl for cryptocurrency because they accused her of running a pump and dump scam when all she was just a dumb bitch, getting thrown into something she had no
idea what she
was doing. Right. It's like, could you imagine you're minding your own business, you do a stupid joke on YouTube, and then the next thing you know, you're being investigated for crypto scams. Oh my goodness. So hello everyone who's joining us, who's awake on this holiday morning, and
we got Rob and Four-Star Lover and Melissa. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put my links in the chat. I'll get to that. Oh, hold on.
And Joseph. Good morning, Joseph.
Oh, good morning, Joseph. And I knew I was forgetting something because a lot of changes happening.
So many changes.
This week. Oh my goodness. And yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. If you are joining us on YouTube, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of these hot messes go live.
This is one hell of a story. The only thing I support is this bitch's biography, okay?
Yeah, I know. It's really the moral of the story. Do not talk to anybody with a microphone in the street. Just moral of the story.
Shit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so if you guys haven't, if you haven't figured it out yet, Nita is a bit congested.
Very much so.
Just a tad, about to launch her own cryptocurrency.
And I'm robo-tripping and everything else.
So she's going to try to mute out as many times as she has to, just in case, so.
I'm trying to grow some hair on my balls.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, I tried one of those natural remedies, right? And it fucking knocked it out for like 4 fucking hours better than anything that I've ever gotten from a pharmacy bottle, okay?
Oh, a hot toddy?
But the problem, it kind of, is the fire cider. But the taste, oh my God.
Well, yeah. No, because what's a hot toddy?
Maybe mixed with some Italian dressing and, over a salad or something. Because the shit was habanero, onion, garlic, rosemary, and basil. And you let it ferment.
And vodka.
Oh my God. And 100 proof vodka. And like, yeah, dude.
Right.
Like within 5 seconds, I could.
In it?
Yes, is the alcohol? Well, no, that's the tincture. But yeah, the tincture has the 80 proof or 80, 90 proof vodka in it. Yeah, that shit there. It was like, yeah, I don't drink anymore. So like one cup of that, and I was like, yeah,
right. So you were good. So were you actually up for the 4 hours, or it knocked you out for 4 hours?
That the tincture knocks me out. The fire cider, however, gave me the most incredible case of heartburn. But I would have taken the heartburn again just to be able to breathe through my nose. So I just did another shot of it a minute ago.
Right. Oh my God. Your stomach is going to thank you for that in a couple of minutes, probably.
My cage inside will come to my defense. I'm protected.
Well, so hello everyone after that introduction. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means?
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah. I am the artist for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and the creator of Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, a medieval fantasy drama you can read online at my website at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And if you're following us along on Kickstarter with the series, I just put a link for the pre-launch page to issue 12, which if you hit the notify me button, you will get notified when the campaign goes live. I'm still working on it, and I don't have an exact date as to when I will be launching the issue. So if you want to make sure you don't miss it, make sure you hit that link, like I said, so you get an email. And also you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channels at Daphne Lage, L-A-G-E Art, and simulcasting through the Indie Comics Network, which I will be explaining, giving an update as to what's going on with that. And to not tell you more about it, here's Nita.
I love to raise up children and abandon them. It's what I do. Yeah, my name is Nita. I am just Nita, and I do some marketing for some small press publishers. And yeah, I like comics and stuff.
Right. You know, but yeah. Also, that's kind of like how you play Skyrim too, right?
Oh, it is. It's absolutely once I get my fancy house and marry Lydia, it's only a matter of time before I kill her for that armor and abandon them children. Because nobody wants to go home with them kids screaming. And that's what they do. They scream because they saw you kill their mom and they never change. And it's like, God damn, can't y'all forgive me? It's been like 2 years, but the fucking kids never do.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like you just go build a new house, bigger house somewhere else. Usually I pick one by the lake. What? It's true. That bitch has some badass armor.
I love these games. I remember when a friend of ours, like he was, I overheard, I came into the middle of a conversation. Hey, and he was talking about how he couldn't understand, like, you know, his wife kept crying and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, you know, it didn't matter. Like if he bought her a brand new TV or anything, he was constantly crying. And then to make everything worse, he had a zombie infestation in his backyard. And I go, what the fuck? And it turns out he was just talking about his game in The Sims. He was playing The Sims, and that was the storyline. And it was just like really funny. Like for a split second, I thought he was having an actual conversation. So I guess Skyrim could be the same way.
That bitch is hot.
Hey, Rob. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, so just to remind everybody, Rob Multari has the latest My wife won't stop crying about zombies. Rob Multari has Nightwolf issues 1 through 11 now live on Kickstarter as well. If you want to check that out, speaking of minding your own business until you find out you're stuck, you're now a werewolf in the middle of a vampire war. Thanks, Dad. So you can also find Nightwolf on Kickstarter as well. I think it has like 18 days left. So that's check
fully
out
funded
Nightwolf.
and breaking stretch goals.
There you go. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So for anybody who probably most likely didn't notice, Nita is no longer running Indie Comics Network's no longer running the channel. So the Google account that's now attached to the Indie Comics Network account is now mine. It's like, I guess, like Nita just woke up one morning and like going, it's like, I can't do this anymore. I have to give the channel away. And we said that we would take it. We would take it off our hands. So that's what we did. So now me and Jose are the proud parents of this delinquent channel that Nita raised from birth. So there has been several changes that we're currently making to kind of like streamline the whole process, but I think we kind of got everything the way it kind of like running properly. So pretty much I don't think anyone really noticed that it changed hands. I just changed the graphics a bit. The domain indiecomicsnetwork.com works now, so it does go to the YouTube channel. So if you type in indiecomicsnetwork.com,
it.com.
Cut. Finally bring that back. So now you get the YouTube channel. Eventually, we do have some plans. Like we want to set up our next project for it is that we want to set up like kind of like a mailing list so that you can sign up and you can keep track of all the campaigns and all the creators that are featured on any of the shows. But that's slowly coming. It's like just like I wanted to like refresh our graphics, but I just don't have the time to do that right now. So so if you have any questions about the Indie Comics Network, or if you're a creator and you want to be on our shows, especially the 2 shows that we're accepting people for, that is Jose's. Actually, they're both Jose's. And Jose's and Rob's. It's Talking Comics on a Sunday and Of Mice and Wolves, a comics workshop show. So if you have a campaign that you would like to promote, have a book you want to promote, you have questions about pretty much anything dealing with indie comics that you need, you have questions you need answered, these are the shows for you. And like I said, if you want to be a guest on it, you can actually contact JD directly at the jdc1@dreamweaverpress.com. His email is in the bio of the network page, the YouTube page for Indie Comics Network. So that's pretty much the changes that we've been doing this past week, just getting everything, signed over. And obviously it couldn't have come at a better time, because the second she gave up the channel to me, Nita got sick.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm getting better though.
Right. So in the end, it's like, so how did that, how was your first week without having to worry about the channel?
Oh my God, it was beautiful. Like, it's not even about that. Like, I still want to be supportive of the people who are part of the channel. Like, absolutely. But like with things going on, I'm taking on projects that I'm not even allowed to discuss right now.
Right.
With new publication companies and stuff.
Cool.
And it's heavy editing and involves a lot of time. And so I just didn't have the time to sit there and worry about every fucking copyright strike. We need thumbnails. Do I need to adjust that? Do I need to log in to get somebody else in? I don't have the time anymore. I just don't. Like, if I do something on YouTube, I don't want to be responsible. Like, I don't want to have to worry about my thoughts and opinions affecting others who may be same with me, because that's how it works out here. If they're, you know, the whole apples don't fall far from the tree bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know. I'm moody and opinionated, and I needed to step away.
Right.
I got enough on my plate.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, there comes it's like, look, you know, because
and to be completely honest, it boiled down to what is beneficial to me right now.
Right.
And I know that sounds selfish as fuck, considering this was like a dream project to kind of start with. But like, I need more time for my personal life too. Yeah. And running the channel consumed a lot of fucking time and paid nothing.
Right.
In fact, cost me.
No, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I just don't have it in me anymore. I'm older and I have some kind of fucking stupid disease that we don't really know what it is. And I'm just tired, and I'm already focused in other areas that do pay and put food on the table and maybe get us out of from above the Bible Belt pretty quick, like. So.
But I think that, like, in the end, like, once we had everything settled, it's because this whole network thing started off as a Meredith project.
Right.
You know, that it's like,
of course, because I didn't like people. Remember that.
People. I hate people.
I hate them.
And so it's like, after she passed, we kind of like decided to do this because that's what she was in the process of doing.
Right.
And, I think we had, I think, it's like we had a good initial run.
We did.
5 years, it's like, we met a lot of people through the network and everything. So it's like, and it's not like we're getting rid of it. We're just changing owners, new.
Right. No, for sure.
And the funny thing is that now that it's kind of like on our side, and like me and Jose were really like looking at it, it's like, oh, it's like, okay, so this is this and that is that, and it's like it's kind of really funny how now, like, this really does align more with what we're doing than what you were doing.
Right.
So it makes a lot more sense for us to like take care of the channel and grow it, from there. Cause like I said, it's like, it's like we're looking at, my next thing is to do like put together like a mailing list thing. It's like maybe have like a Kickstarter account, or, connected to it or whatever, like just kind of like be able to expand it in a way that wasn't really convenient or made sense for you to do it. So, so we have some plans. And also the thing is too, is like, it also required us to kind of like streamline what we wanted to appear. Absolutely. Melissa, Nita has to take care of Nita. And the fact that, we were able to just smoothly, take the responsibility from her, just worked out really well. So what we've been doing is just been like streamlining the channel, like especially like really thinking about, okay, what are the types of things we really want to focus on, and that's really, it's like we want to focus on, like Randy's educational content. We want to focus on like the business side of comics.
Y'all want to focus on comics,
yeah.
And while I was wanting to focus on comics, and I still do because comics is a big part of it, I'm more in the pop culture and this grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
I want to talk all the nerdy shit, and it just doesn't work.
Right. It's like we're more likely to just be able to stick with just focusing on comics and helping comic creators.
Right.
So that's what we were doing. There are like a couple of, what I did was like,
and I want to just run naked through people's houses like a madman.
Well,
screaming about Star Wars and Skyrim.
Technically, we couldn't do that on YouTube anyway.
Shit, I'm naked now. What are you talking about? Jeez.
You know,
Do not
Andrew,
underestimate me, Lage.
that's true. Hey, Lou. So that's kind of what's going on with the network. Like I said, technically, none of you should have noticed a difference. But that's what's going on. So if anybody has any questions about, like I said, of any of the shows, wanting to be a guest on either Jose's or Rob's shows, just contact us, DM me directly, DM Jose directly, and we'll sort you out there. So so that's kind of like what's going on currently. But so the other thing that I was like, I kind of got into a rabbit hole before we came on the air. And the other day I had watched a video about how fantasy novels are like obsessed with maps. And, it's all because of Tolkien. It's like everyone read Lord of the Rings in their formative years. And now, because or whatever. And now it's like you can't even write anything related to fantasy without there being a map involved. And so now the thing is, though, it's like the way I relate to maps in terms of my own storytelling is I don't really find them that important. But the rabbit hole that I went down before is that I had gotten it in my head that I'm at a part of the Eagle Raven novelization where I kind of started to get concerned as to like where certain things were in relation to each other. Like a castle and a meadow and this whole thing. And it's like, I go, what? How far apart are these things anyway? And I'm just the type of person where like I just make it easy because this is more informational than actually something that I present to an audience. Because in the end, even though if you're writing fantasy, there has to be a certain level of realism in your information for people to kind of accept what you're talking about. And so when it comes to like trying to figure out distances, I just refer to actual places and then kind of like fake my information around that. And being that practically every fantasy setting is based in medieval Europe or medieval England anyway, so I decided to find a couple of English cities, and then like kind of like, okay, well, yeah, this could be this and that could be that. Now let me measure the distance and let me use Google Maps and let me try to figure out, like what the distance is in relation to each other. If I was saying this castle is this far away from this other place in the story, what would sound realistic, to say that's like, someone traveled by foot or something. So I had to like find out like the details about medieval travel. And so the information that I found was that medieval travel, like a medieval traveler in good conditions traveling by foot, is about 15 to 20 miles a day, again, in good conditions. And then 6 to 8 days, 6 to 8 miles if it's poor conditions, right? So, and then it's like if you're on cart or horseback, it'd be 12 miles. It'd be 12 miles a day, again, less in crappier conditions, and then it's like I had to read up about well, what actually got maintained on medieval roads. And then there was the whole concept of a king's road, which the king paid to have constantly maintained because that was the road he was taking. But like all these other side roads were kind of like at the mercy of whatever jurisdiction they fell under. So a lot of them were like not as maintained as well. So the average medieval travel. So like I said, that's the rabbit hole that I ended up going by. And and what I started doing is I started I started these a while ago where I would do like SAT style questions, practically math questions, trying to figure out like the distances between certain cities. And and today I just ended up with like another like trying to figure out like, okay, if you were walking from the castle to the farthest meadow in Edenron, right? How long would that take? And then it's like I'd be doing the SAT maths, here. Well, it's like, well, if it takes 5 days to go from this city to this city, and it takes this many days to go from this city to this city, it's like, then what would the equation be to figure out from this castle to this to this thing? Right, African or European swallow. Right, exactly. So I'm sitting here like just printing out maps from Google Maps, and then just like, okay, if this was my city in this story and this was the other city in my story, right? And I'm still, and it was just like, and it's like, honestly, it's like all this research for probably just one line of dialogue in the entire story, just for me to like say that's like, oh, it just took this long, or it just takes this long to travel, and that would be it. Like that would be the extent of the information like the person reading the story would get. But I had to do all this math, several hours worth of research and math in the background just to get that one line, and hope that it makes a lot of sense. It makes sense to the reader, and yeah, so they were right. So they were talking about like how, like, if you do a fantasy book, like Nita, have you ever read a fantasy book and then go, I really wish there was a map?
No, because all the books that I like that I wish had a map usually do.
Oh, so you have, okay, so that you're right, because it's so ubiquitous.
The Dark Elf trilogy has a map.
Right.
No, like Lord of the Rings has a map. The Hobbit has a map.
Right.
I already have maps.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, so you actually, so in the end, you never ask that question because the genre, it's like having a map in fantasy.
The rest of the books I haven't felt were that deep.
Right. Yeah.
Like
so in the video, right, that this, so this woman, this author was saying that, she's also the type who really like, she only concerns herself with maps, again, for internal story information, not necessarily something that's like reader facing. And and the thing that she had said, that it's like, if you really think about it, the only reason, like if you read Lord of the Rings, oh, just do it the way what did she say? What did Alice say? It takes as long as the plot needs.
Right.
Hours of work to see if the line "see you in 5 minutes" works. Yeah, exactly, Lou. That's what I'm talking about, right? And so she was saying that the only reason people associated Tolkien with maps and then made that a genre foundation is because that's what Tolkien that's what Tolkien spent a lot of effort on, was the maps. Right? Because she goes, if you actually if you read how he describes the different cultures in the Lord of the Rings, she goes, there really isn't a lot of information. She goes, everything that we kind of like think of when we think of Lord of the Rings either comes from the Rankin and Bass cartoons, or specifically Alan Lee's illustrations for the Peter Jackson movie, right? Because that information didn't come from Tolkien. He just gave like, he just gave you like, oh, this is the vibe of the place, and then all these kind of like, all these illustrators and animators kind of like ran with that information on their own. But the maps, he was the one putting all the effort into it. But for some reason, the map is like, well, if Tolkien put all that effort into maps, then I have to put all that effort into maps. When as a reader, I'm like, well, the map doesn't really mean anything to me. I'd rather learn more about the cultures in your and your characters in your book, not necessarily where they've been or how long it takes to get there by donkey cart. You know? You know? Like it doesn't, and the even funniest thing is like when I'm reading a book that solely exists to have unhinged smut in it, I don't need a map to tell me where the characters stop to fuck. You know? I mean, it's just like, really? You know? So,
That's the only thing I want a map for.
Right, exactly. So, so this also made me think about like all the other like lore work that I do in my book, and anybody who's doing any type of comic or book or whatnot, like a lot of people in this audience, it's like, you're doing your own comics, you're writing your own books, and you're going into the research and the rabbit holes, and do I need a map? It's like, self discussions, right? But like, how much of that really needs to be reader facing? And at the same time, when you put in that much work, into, that much research into your own work, and then you put your comic out, and then it just feels like you're just getting crickets from an audience. Like, I don't know, like if the audience is, if you put your book out, and because actually this it kind of stemmed from this. So Jose was telling me that he actually got an email from somebody like telling him how much he enjoyed the Oswald Chronicles and blah 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 and this, that, and the other thing. And I had said, it's like, it's like that's great, that people really do go out of their way to contact Jose to say that they enjoy, because it's like the same thing with Magi's Grace and Dreamweavers. He's gotten people like go out of their way to review the books and to send him like, I really enjoyed it and blah blah blah. And then he just recently got something from the Oswald Chronicles. And I go, he's like, it's like that's really nice that you're getting that, that feedback, that it's like that people are actually enjoying, your stuff, and they're telling you that, right? As opposed to like, feeling like you're
psychic.
That you're what?
That you got to be psychic. Do they like it or do they not?
Right. Like that it just feels like you're just writing into the void, and then Jose goes, that's not the reason why I do this. It's like, I write for myself. If they like it, they like it. They don't have to tell me that. Right. And then it's like, yeah, but it's like, but isn't it nice to just kind of see that people are enjoying it? And Jose just, gets, Jose gets, I don't need that. It's like, I want them to spend money on the Kickstarter if they really wanted to show their appreciation. They spend money on the Kickstarter. Yeah, now you'll love me or else. I'm as beautiful as the dawn, as treacherous as the sea. All will love me and despair. But it seems like, Jose doesn't write for that. And then it's like, there was this other video that, that I saw talking about that art doesn't exist unless there's that interaction with the audience, right? And their idea behind that is that the whole point of art is to be shared, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be sharing it. It's like, if you were really just doing art for yourself, then why are you on social media sharing it? Why are you putting it out into the public? But to share it, but to get that audience interaction. And what she was kind of despairing about is the fact that because of the way social media taught us to just grind through shit, that everything is just this, it's just content, 30-second content for you to pass by. She was saying that because of that, people are not interacting with art the way they should. That it's like that art is meant to be ruminated on and really looked over and thought about, and and because that's part of the process. It's like, like to think about, like, what is that artwork giving you? What are you taking away from that artwork? But because now everybody just looks at artwork in 30-second, if not less, increments, nobody's really sitting with artwork. So it's like she was saying that half the experience of artwork existing is disappearing, because it's like, to her, she's saying that it's the audience experience that adds to the art, and without it, it's like there's a lot. It's kind of like people who say that they love comics but they don't read them. And I've had people say that to me, where it's like they pick up my comics and they go, "Oh, I love your comics, but I haven't read them yet." And it's like, how does that work?
Because I like to judge books by the cover, and unicorns is cute,
I guess, right? Especially, but the thing is, though, yeah, it's like I put in a lot of effort into the artwork. And it's like, so yeah, I appreciate that part, that it's like, okay, you like the artwork enough, but I put in, it's like, I gotta agree with JD on that one. I'm selfish. I write and draw for Mark Dudley. If I find in other folks that I like, it's a plus, but I keep doing it regardless. Fans are fickle. Well, right. That's kind of part of it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like nothing is going to stop me or Jose from finishing our work, even if nobody says a thing. I mean, it's like that's still happening regardless, but it's like there are some moments where it's like, to finish my thought that I remember. It's like, yeah, I'm glad you like the artwork enough to collect the book, but at the same time, it's like I'm putting in so much effort into the story too, that it's like you're kind of missing half the thing that I like. Like, you're only looking at half of what I'm doing, and it's like, and it's like, when I'm going out of my way to do math just to figure out whether a couple of lines in the text make sense, I don't know. It's like for me, it's like, yeah, does it, if I don't hear anything, if I'm just hearing crickets, does it stop me from doing my work? Absolutely not. Right. But there's something about hearing people actually talking about my work in a way that they enjoy it, like they're telling me that they enjoy it without really telling me. What it is that they're telling their friends that they enjoy it, because like the last time I had this happen, it was like, like I said, I have Visenia when I'm working. I have Visenia on her live stream in the background. And there was a couple of times where she just starts talking about Igaraven completely. Like, I didn't prompt her. I'm just there listening. Just something came up and she remembers something about the story and she just starts talking about it with her fans. And, and I have to admit, I like that thrill of it. Lou says, even if you pause for longer than 30 seconds on art, there's a pop-up notification telling you it's time to look at something else. Art books are way more user-friendly. Well, that's true, which kind of leads me into another. We can't control our audience, or can we? Actually, no, we can't, Peter. No. We can't. What you are talking about is a form of pandering if they haven't even read the work.
Amen.
I mean, because it's like, I don't know, like I said, it's like, you see, because that's the funny thing, because like, I don't do my work to pander because it's like, the sales are showing that I'm not pandering to anybody but myself. But it's like, I said, it's like I put in all this work and all this time, and it's like, just sometimes it's just really nice to hear that it's like, oh yeah, I loved it when you did this and that, in the book, and when the character did this, and it's like, oh my god, and it's like that scene was crazy, and it's like, and it just makes me, it just feels nice, um so it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of like Melissa says, it's always nice to get outside validation for this thing we do in a bubble, like, oh, someone else is actually looking at this besides me while I draw it. Yeah, you see, that's kind of the thing, that it's like, that it's evidence that the work exists outside our bubble. I like the way that Melissa worded that. And it's like, and I think that that's also kind of the reason why, like, there are people who really, really like doing shows, doing conventions, because that's also like, even though doing conventions is about commerce, I think a big part of that too is that you do get that one-on-one, like, live reaction to your work, where it's like, yeah, you kind of get that validation at a show when people come up to your table and say, oh snap, this is fresh. this is hot, this is fire, or whatever the kids are talking is saying, right? And then they want to spend their money on it, right? And it's like, and you tell them, your story, and it's like, oh, I love, say no more, type of thing, like, and that's the thing, when people come up and goes, this is it, this is what I want, right? And you get that initial reaction, right? And then it's like they buy it and they go, oh, it's like, I hope they really like it even more once they read it. Because that was a funny thing that would happen at conventions with us. So Jose would have this this kind of like, it wasn't exactly a giveaway, it was $1 book, right? So it's the first issue of Oswald that he would sell for $1 at conventions. And he would tell people, it's like, yeah, the samples, if you're interested, you could try it out for $1, and if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. So it was a funny pitch that he had. It's like, oh, you have a money back guarantee on $1 book, right? So people would just buy the $1 book because he made them laugh with the money back guarantee, right? But then the funniest thing is that the next day they would come back and they would be going and say, okay, now I need the rest of the series. I read this last night and it has me completely hooked. Now I need the rest of the series. You're right. He said that the only time someone had asked for their money back was this kid who wanted his $1 back so that he could put it towards on another book. He wanted to pick up the next issue. So I mean, it was just like really, really funny, and and I kind of think that it's not, like, a lot of creators kind of like to see that, but the thing is, though, it's like, I think that most of the time, like, what happens, like, how do you deal with that when it's like you're just not getting anything? Like, people are buying your book, like my situation is like, I have 130 to 150 people who consistently buy my book, but I never hear anything from them. But except, but although I do have like 1 or 2 people who it's like they always say something at the beginning or at the end of a campaign, like, oh, can't wait for more issues and blah blah blah. And it's like, like I said, I appreciate that, right? But most of the people, but then again, it's like, I figure most of the people who buy my book, they show their appreciation by buying the next book. Like, they don't say a word, but they just buy the next book and the next book and the next book. Or if they skip, they catch up on it. And trust me, I really, really appreciate that too, because it's like, when I'm not getting like actual feedback, like that's the next best thing, knowing that I have this consistent audience that comes back every time I put out a book. So it's like, well, they're obviously liking it, you know. But but yeah, it's like I don't know. It's I mean, how do you like, because like in the end it's like, when was the last time you actually contacted somebody who did something you really, really liked, and like for some reason you had to tell them that you liked it?
I don't know. It's been a minute. More than likely, I'm going to tell them I'm angry. Not that they give a fuck when they kill off your favorite characters or anything.
Oh well. Gee, I wonder who you could be talking about. But that's
I think that
right.
for me though, like when I find books that I'm not paid for or whatever, or art piece or whatever, or share or comment or whatever, that's my way of saying, hey, I like your shit, because I'm not gonna do it if I don't.
Right, like
because I'm a cunt.
Because you don't go out of your way to contact a creator.
No.
Right. And I think that very easily, I think most of it, like that's something that I had to really think about. It's like, well, what do I do? And it's like, well, I think the only time I've really spoken to creators is like a couple of people online and like at conventions. And that's really the only time. It's like I don't really go out of my way, so it's like, so of course it boils down to, why am I expecting something that I don't personally do myself, right? Although the thing that you had said about, well, it's usually to complain about something, and it's like, depending on what that thing is,
most of the time I don't even do that. The only reason I felt comfortable telling you is because you're my friend. Other than that, I just been like, fuck you and never read again.
Right, yeah. And then you just kept reading. Right, because we did have because not to spoil anything, but something happened in the series, in the Eagle Raven series, that Nita has yet to forgive me for.
Nah, that's not gonna happen, bro.
But that was kind of the reaction I was looking for when I did the scene. I mean, what's ironic, right, is that there was another scene that I thought would have, like, that I was expecting like a real big reaction from, but I guess this particular scene had such a bigger reaction, it overshadowed the other scene that I thought would like get the big reaction, and I go, you know what, that's fine. It's like, I guess, like, I kind of underestimated, I don't know why one scene would overshadow the other scene that I thought would have the reaction, when actually that scene would have the reaction.
Dude, I was like this one was so awesome. I was seriously, man, next thing I can't say much without doing
right
spoilers.
Yeah, no, because
anyway, like I was debating on asking you to fucking do my tattoo, like, yeah, like dead ass, that I was totally gonna do the calf.
You were gonna do like a in memoriam or something?
No, I was gonna do something bold, brave, because he's supposed to live forever and be immortal, bitch.
Right.
Killed him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah. Well, that's the rules. Right. So, it's so I mean, yeah. So, and what's funny is that, it's like, when that happened, I really did have a lot of fun with that interaction, as much as you hated me for it, because it's like, okay, this worked, this worked. That it's like, that what that told me is that I wrote this character in such a way that you cared when I did something.
Dude.
And it's like, and it's like, that was kind of like, even though it's like weird validation, it was negative validation, but it was the validation that,
because you always tend to pick a character that you most can relate to, or how you would want to be in a given circumstance or whatever.
Right.
And he was mine.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, and then you took that from me.
Well, all I can say is that he will be avenged. But,
And that's the only reason I'm still here.
But but it's like, but I had, like kind of like a lot of fun with that. Like another strange way that I kind of get validation is seeing the pieces that Jaden does for me. Even though I'm commissioning them. And because part of what I like about Jaden's work is that there's this like this deep emotionality in her work where it's like she really has to be connected to it,
right?
To like, I guess I don't know. It's like there's this like vibe in the work that when she's really connected to it, it just comes out.
Oh yeah.
Like, so when I commission a piece, from Jaden, right? It's like, usually it's for covers. And pretty much my only rule is that Eagle Raven has to be in the picture, but unless I have a very specific scene in mind, I usually let her interpret it however she wants. And then I send her, like the issue, and it's like,
yeah, the amount of freedom you give her is why she's like,
right.
I mean, it's just incredible. Like when you just like, you feel this. What do you feel from this?
Right, exactly. Like that's the important part for me. It's like that's why, like with Jaden, like inaccuracies don't bother me as long as she gets the vibe.
Right.
It's like, and her vibes are on point.
Yeah, they are.
So that's more important to me. If I were like to hire like another illustrator, it's the details that I would be more interested in, because I wouldn't be expecting them to care much about feelings in the picture.
Right.
So with them, it's like, well, that this detail's wrong, but
and that reminds me, there's something I'm supposed to run by you about the next commission. So
sure. Yeah, because there's an issue. So it's like, I remember sending her a picture of sending her a PDF of the next issue. And this one is even like I'm really curious as to what scene resonates with her in that next issue, because I pretty much left it freeform for her because I didn't have anything specific for like in terms of a scene that it's like, okay, if she reads the book, what scene stands out to her the most that would like work as a cover? And I'm really curious. I think it was like issue 10 or 11?
11? Shit. Dude,
yeah, I don't
have anything on me right now to look.
Right. Yeah. No, what's funny is that I just realized that one of the covers that I had her do is a dupe. But the funny thing is, like, I like this new one better than the original one that she did for this particular issue. So it works out fine. Like the other one, the other piece was really good for like promo, but this one feels more like the story.
Right.
So it works out, but it's the issue after that I didn't have anything stand out. So I was going to leave it like literal artist choice. Again, only rule is that Eagle Raven has to be center to the cover image. Because the covers that Jaden is doing, these are for like the chapters of the novelization. So that's why no one's seen them yet, really, because that's for that project.
And you're gonna love the family portrait,
and then it's like there's some pictures that I'm just doing that I just have her do just for myself, because that part of the story, like there just comes a part of this part of the lore that I have no idea like how long it's gonna take for this shit to go public, like officially public in terms of storyline, or whether it even matters. But again, right, it's like the whole thing that I'm talking about is kind of like when things are quiet, when everyone's quiet, like, what do you keep an eye out for? I mean, apparently, like, you haven't really done, like, I guess, like, the closest is like, C, when C does a book, right? And he has an issue published or a comic published, like, does he look for anything, like, any, like, oh, who's paying attention to the book, or is he just kind of like,
He looks for overall engagement on it or whatever, but
right?
Does he obsess over what people are saying or thinking?
Well,
No,
I don't
absolutely
want
not.
to. You see, that's the thing. I don't want to say obsess, because it's like that's all that becomes a whole other issue. That
C
gets
is like
triggered.
me in the respective. We're gonna do what we want to do, regardless of what the fuck anybody thinks. It's not
Right.
a disrespect thing. It's
Right.
a self-preservation type
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody's got time to be worried about the opinions of some internet fuckers.
Right. You see, yeah.
No, and that sounds horrible because I
Yeah.
love my fans, but it's just like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
if you like it, great. Let us know. If you want to nitpick it, go somewhere else.
I mean, it's like, well, you see, that's the funny thing, because if someone does have questions, I would want to know what those questions are, because then it might be something I could fix.
Oh,
in
for
the
like a hole in the
novelization.
story or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you'd want those kind of gaps filled or whatever. And I was
right,
talking about just
exactly.
general critique, which is about all
Yeah.
you get out here
Right.
anymore is
because
unsolicited advice.
Yeah, because I completely remember the very first real critique I got of Eager Raven issue 1. And the person reading it kind of went above this, like, past the story, like past the issue, in terms of thinking about, like, what questions the first issue was bringing up. And I ended up incorporating those questions into actually the issue, that his questions are now being answered in this issue 12, that I'm working on right now. So if it wasn't for those questions, like, this scene would have ended up a little different, or like, I think what it is that because of those questions, I ended up writing this scene that I'm working on now because of those questions.
Yeah.
So, so the criticism was in the end welcome, although not. Trust me, they did make me panic in the beginning, but it's like, you know what? These are valid questions. Where in the story do I have the opportunity to answer them?
Right.
And because of that, I really do feel like I ended up with a better story because of that. So I'm not necessarily adverse to, I guess, like, critical
constructive criticism.
Yeah, right. It's
well,
like,
there's a big difference between constructive criticism and unsolicited advice.
Right, exactly. Because it's like, like, if you're writing me to ask, well, why did she make this decision at this point, right? That's a real question I can kind of chew on, right? And like
Is
I said,
because I'd be like, bitch got free will.
It's like, and also it's like, that's also part of what I'm using the novelization for, is to kind of like add in more of those little details that would hopefully make the characterization better. That, in a comic book, you really kind of have to use a lot of shorthand to tell a story.
No, for sure.
So it's like, I can understand when a lot of nuance gets cut out of the comic, but I could put it back into the novelization.
Right.
Which that's what I've been doing, is using the novelization as a way to, like, kind of plug up these little holes.
Sounds boring. Extended director's script.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's something like that, Yeah, it really is. Because yeah, so
do you want me to read?
Right. Because also eventually what I want to do too is I want to, like, do, like, kind of like an audiobook version of it, so that, because
the voices.
Yes, I can do the voices, because I did a test read for Nita once when we were in Florida, and I would literally like we would be in bed about to go to sleep. I go, Nita, you want to
Together.
go after in the same room in separate beds.
Yeah.
You know, so I would be reading my story to Nita, and yeah, I'd be doing the voices and everything.
You would. It was great.
You know, it was just really fun. And if anyone's really curious about the novelization, I do have some chapters up on my Substack. They're pretty much unedited first drafts. I just want to kind of put them up there to see if I can, again, kind of see if anybody has any reaction to it. And so far I don't know if anyone's reading it, but it's there. In the end, it's like I'm still going to finish it, and I'm going to have it edited, and then eventually I'll put it out on its own Kickstarter. But that's kind of the thing that I was thinking about, that it's it's nice. It's, it would be nice to, that it's it would be nice to hold on for a sec. Hold on. I'm just gonna, just a second.
Where's she going? She disappeared on me for just a second. Oh my God, and I can't even get back in the tab. Hold on. Daphne's got some emergencies. I'd play you guys some stuff, but I don't have anything. That's up. Let's see. Now we can go dirty. I don't know. No, I can't go dirty because this is Daphne's house now, so I have to respect it.
What? What happened?
They want me to go dirty, but I can't. I told them this is your house now. I have to respect
Right.
it.
Oh, right. Yeah. The one thing that I really do hope you can find those two clips. Because
I'm sure. If not, we can get them again.
Right. Because because one of the things, the maintenance things that I'm doing is I'm switching over to a new Streamyard account, which means that, well, I'm using my personal Streamyard account. Right now, this is the network Streamyard, and you're right, Nita. All this time, it's not worth $400.
I told you.
It's not worth
400. Try 5. The only reason
really,
it's that low. The only reason it's that low is because
460 or something.
Yeah, but it's even more than that. If you look underneath, in here on this StreamYard, if you go into the account, you'll see that we have credits from people subscribing to StreamYard. So there's $50 fucking taken off.
Right.
It's fucking stupid. I'm I'm done. I'm done.
No, because
and that didn't include the sound clips and everything that I was paying for, and the fucking. I'm just done, dude.
No,
I'm in my gas, grass, or ass era.
No, that was because me and Jose, we have our own StreamYard accounts, and I guess because we were kind of early adopters,
they leverage y'all's payment.
It's we're grandfathered into a heavily discounted rate, so it didn't make sense for us to give those up just to pay full price for pretty much the same thing. So the only thing that I was going to miss is the two clips that I feel I don't know, represent us really, really well. The
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
And our outro clip, the
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
Wow. Signatures.
Those two clips, I think, kind of represent the vibe. the show. So that and the
I tried before I quit because
Yeah,
I wanted, but nobody is going to want to learn that with me. So I was
Yeah.
like, whatever, it's
right.
fine.
You see, and in the end, it's like was the difference, because I was looking at Restream too, but the problem is that you have there's a learning curve, and the problem is that I want
Ma'am, every time we open StreamYard, it's a learning curve. They change everything constantly.
Right, but you know what? I can send a link to anybody, and all they have to do is click the link, and they don't have to know anything else about StreamYard.
Right.
Everything else is just about their camera and their microphone. They just have to know that, right? But like StreamYard itself, they don't need to know anything.
No.
So, in the end,
it was very convenient.
Yeah. StreamYard was the easiest because the people who run their streams on Zoom, it's like, I will avoid going on shows. It's like, oh my God.
I hate
Zoom.
that.
I hate
like
Zoom.
whenever you throw a clip or something, everything goes like dead silent. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
I was on a radio show that did that, and I was like, man, I hate this shit.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like I really, really
like,
don't
is it
like
safe
Zoom.
to scratch my butt, or is the camera gonna pop one at random? Can I pick my nose? Can I fart right now? Is it okay?
I mean, really. So it's like, in the end, it's like StreamYard was just the better platform.
Well, for some people, yeah, I think I'm gonna look into that in Twitch.
But I mean, yeah, for me, it's like I just needed to be just as simple as possible, less for me and more for the people I would be bringing. Like if I was like bringing a guest in or something, just because it's so easy to just like send a link and that's it.
Right.
They don't have to download anything. They don't have to activate anything. They don't have to have an app. They don't have to like be on their phone. Just here's a link and that's it. I forgot my point. Oh yeah, the two clips. The two clips. So it's like, so we're pretty much just transferred over. I just need those two clips. That and the
I love 2 clips. I love having 2 clips. What, the suck a big fanny dick for Kickstarter money?
Yeah, that one. Because I think like that one's just a mood. But the 2 main clips I need, so hopefully you'll be able to get those to me. But yeah, also just to give everyone's a heads up, this is probably going to be our last stream. Me and
because we're broke up. And
no,
so, yeah,
no. I have to go to Florida again. I might have to go to Florida again, and I won't be back until like the end of February. So
oh my God.
Hopefully by then everything will be like more stable. You
better be back for my birthday.
Huh? No. Yeah. No, that definitely. I will. Definitely, I will. But that's. But yeah. But it's like so. So we're just switching over everything, only for me to disappear for a couple of weeks again. So I don't know. Timing. Right.
It's never convenient, never.
No, it never is. It never is, But yeah, but that's but in the end, going back to the topic, right? So that's kind of like the creator's conflict that I have. Right? That it's like, I do this for myself. It's like I'm doing the work regardless, but I can't, also can't help the fact, and that's the truth. That's the truth too, that you cannot control how people react or don't react to your stuff. The only thing you own is the effort. To quote Stoic philosophy, the only thing that belongs to you is the effort. Everything else outside of that doesn't belong to you. So you have no control over it. How people react to it, don't react to it, whether it sells or doesn't sell. You can spend $24,000 worth of Facebook ads and it still doesn't move an inch on Kickstarter.
Right.
It's like you have no control over that. But but then again, also it's like Stoic philosophy says to like not worry about the opinions of others either. Like it but at the same time, it's like tell me, but do you like it though? I'm kind of like that. Like I don't know. Like I kind of feel like all the work that I'm putting into it is like I'm sharing a process, I'm sharing the lore, I'm sharing the artwork, and it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just being insecure in the end. Maybe that's what that really is. It's just an insecurity, as to whether, people like it or not. But again, it's like, how insecure can I be when I have a consistent audience buying it? Where you
Right.
have campaigns that they're seeing drops every time they run a campaign, they're losing 10%, 20% of their audience, every time they run a campaign, they're losing people, right? And mine has pretty much stayed steady. Sure, it could dip a bit, but they come back on the next issue. You have the people who like they wait 2 or 3 issues, and then they just catch up, but it's like really like that, in the end, it's like, that's the more important metric, don't you think?
Amen.
you know but like everything else everything else is kind of like, what is it that I'm really asking for here? Validation? It's
Right.
like, and once I say it like that, it's like, I don't need validation. I don't need people to validate what I'm doing. I'm doing it anyway, but I don't know. Oh, it's like, make more effort for audience interaction somehow. That's what Peter says. It's like,
No.
yeah, I mean,
Little pass.
I mean, I guess, but in the end, it's like, how much effort do I really want to put into that?
Right.
Like yesterday, we were talking about maybe going back to shows, but the more we talked about it, the more we were kind of like, we actually make more money just throwing a book up on Kickstarter, than actually spending the money to go to a convention. But I think it's because a lot of it has to do with the fact that when we think about conventions, we only think about it in terms of how much money we can actually make. And anything outside of that, it's like, well, it's not to meet friends because we talk to everybody online.
Right.
So it's not like we have to go spend $1,000 to go to a convention.
No, you go to spend $1,000 to go to a convention where you may or may not make back your table, and
Right.
you got to see a bunch of people that you don't like. Like, I seriously, first thing look, when I went to MegaCon, the first thing I did was map out where the motherfuckers were, so I wouldn't have to walk past them.
I mean,
except for one. I wanted to find him, and I did.
Right. Well, but now you don't have to worry about him anymore.
No, I don't. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. So,
but so yes, it's like, if we meet everybody, if we generally talk to everybody regularly online, I mean, unless it's a show that it's very convenient for us to go to, like it's local or something, or like, say, when, because I still have my table for Baltimore Comic-Con. I had to, postpone it last year. And instead of just canceling, Peter says what I said earlier. I think if you do a web comic, then you'll get a lot more interaction. Not really.
Vary.
Not really. It's like, yeah, your mileage will vary, because it's like, I've done Eagle Raven twice as a web comic, and I did Tall Tales twice as a web comic, and the interaction is still
you have
zero.
To stay on top of. You have to become a part of that fucking community and abandon most socials.
Yeah, and I
give it the time it needs.
Yeah,
but those who do,
right,
reap rewards for sure.
Well, sure, I guess, but that's also like some of the things where it's like we're sitting back and going, it's like, like some things are just like, the more it takes away from the work I have to do, the less I want to do it, especially if it has no real ROI. Not, it's like, yeah, and I'm not even talking about, well, if you don't engage, then how are you going to know? And it's like, yeah, well, one, you know what? We've been doing this for 5 years, and we've been doing like online on Kickstarter. Actually, we've been doing Kickstarter since 2016. And if you do a game, oh yeah, that'd be different. Yeah, that'd be different. Absolutely, that'd be different. Completely unrelated, but kind of related. So there's this Artist Alley girl that I follow, that I watch on occasion. And she, like her thing, like her shtick is that she does corgi related merchandise. Like she has a corgi, so she makes all this merchandise related to her corgi, right? Because I guess corgis are a really popular breed.
I'm gonna need her link because I got a friend.
Oh, okay. She went to a furry convention for the first time. I think I don't remember if she was at Anthrocon or Midwest Fur Fest or something. She was at one of these furry cons. And the funniest shit, she's never been to one before. So I guess she didn't really think about it too much. But if she goes to this convention again, the one thing I know for a fact she's going to definitely bring with her is her backdrop. Because her entire video at this convention that she was filming at, so she did this entire vlog at being at a furry convention, and she had to block out her entire background.
Oh no.
Because she was sitting, so she was here, and then she had a dealer behind her that was like, they specialized in gay furry comics. And they were selling the body pillows of their characters, right?
Oh no.
So of course the front of the booth is going to have the front of the pillows, which is the clean version.
Oh shit.
So her entire backdrop, because she was all just
pekkas, lots of pekkas,
body pillows with all the dicks hanging out because it's the back of the pillow. And it was just so funny to see how she had to blur her entire. It was so dying. I mean, I was like, oh, somebody should have warned her.
Oh no.
It was so sad. I felt really bad for her. Mind you, she did well at the convention. But to not be prepared to see dick all week.
I got tears, dude.
It's not like she was at Monsterotica where you expect that.
How can you go to a furry convention
you're just
and
seeing
not?
Dick all week. But no, it was so funny.
Oh.
It was so, like I said, I felt bad for her. But at the same time, I was like, oh, that tracks. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, yeah. So the chat is correct.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. So again, does the audience matter? Do we have control? Is it just more of an us issue? And like, if I'm sitting here, is it like, what am I really asking when a creator, when we talk about engagement, right? That it's like, oh, it's important to have engagement, right? And I remember this thing, I guess kind of like to sum up this whole thing. There was a thread, an etiquette thread that I was reading about writers. So traditional publishing. And they were pretty much saying that reviews and commentary about your book, they're not for you.
Huh.
They're for readers, but not for you.
Right.
That's not the point of that. Because, we're talking about fans talking with fans. Like, that's the real engagement that we're looking for. Not fans talking to us, but fans talking to other fans. In the end, I forgot his name. The guy who came up with the 1,000 true fans.
True fans.
Yeah, the true fans theory.
Yeah.
Right. His whole, because his whole thing is that, look, your job is to create. It's your fans' job to sell your book. Right. That's, and what he means by that is that, like, everything that I talked about in this video about, like, but
and that's creator privilege,
blah,
because
blah, blah.
like, you don't want to tell your fans that.
Right.
You don't want to be like, bitch, you liked it, you market it.
Right. Yeah. No. Right. No. But we're talking about, like, like he's talking about how your job is just to do the work and not worry about engagement or this. It's like, he's talking about what sells your books. What really sells your book is the fans selling your book. It's the whole thing about social proof, right?
And how do you acquire those fans?
That's the irony of it, right? You have to engage with the fans enough to kind of kickstart that. But here's the thing, right? But it all boils down to, you have to make a product that's worth talking about.
Right.
I didn't have to engage Visenia for her to start talking about my book with her on her stream.
Right.
She didn't even know I was in her stream. She just started talking about Eagle Raven.
Right.
And that would have happened whether I was listening or not. So I didn't have to engage her. I just had to draw and write a story that she enjoyed so much that she'll just randomly talk about it if given the option. So it's like, for all I know, there are people talking about my book. There are people talking about, the books that we create. We just don't know about it because in the end, that's none of our business. Our business is to create the book. And to do it in a way that people will talk about it on their own. Right. Without me having, because the one thing that I hated doing, the one thing that I did in the past that I'm never going to do again, because in the end, I felt so ooky about it, was to solicit for pull quotes. And it's like, I don't know. It's like in the end, it felt weird that, although technically that's what publishers do, they ask, oh, we're putting out this book, we would like you to, would you like to read it? And
what the hard part about asking someone for a pull quote is they have to read it,
right?
And that becomes an issue when you're dealing with smaller press stuff, when people are buying just to back you,
right? Yeah.
Not saying that would be your issue, but with a lot of creators,
right? It's
how many times have you heard, I've got a pile of books I've never opened?
Right, exactly. And and so it's like, I kind of stopped doing the pull quote thing because I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It just kind of got weird.
I thought my pull quote was good. Just keep using
yours.
It.
Yeah, no, I still use them. I still use
them. Never expires.
I just stopped asking for them because it's like, I don't know. It's like, I just got to a point where it's like, that it's just weird, that it's like it just feels like I'm pressuring people to like my book. I mean, like it's just I don't know. It was just like kind of weird. So it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, what? Maybe this is just some creator bullshit that we just put ourselves through. You know,
Like to
that we're
do.
just kind of like wasting our time thinking about this stuff. You know, it's like, yeah, is it oh, thank you, Melissa, thank you. You know, yeah, like Melissa's another one who like she'll randomly talk about Eagle Raven. You know, it's like um you know, without me doing anything, but it's like, you know, but again, it's like, you know, the important part is her talking to her friends, not talking to me. You know, when Vasenia talks to her friends about Eagle Raven, not talking to me. Just like when I talk about Celestial Pulse, I'm not talking about Celestial Pulse to Vasenia. I'm talking about Celestial Pulse to my audience. That's not her. You know, so again, it's like it's one of those things where am I just expecting something I don't really do myself? And then I'm tying myself up in knots in something that's actually like, you know, I'm thinking about this all wrong, you know. And I think what it is that I'm just kind of like confusing all this marketing nonsense. Oh, marketing, oh my god, marketing. So on a final note, the other day Jose was watching Wolf of Wall Street, and there was this scene where he's training his pretty much his scam artist investor guys, right? He's
Right.
making his, you know, he's training the guys in the boiler room on how to get people to buy these penny stocks, these garbage stocks that they're going to lose money on, but they make such a huge commission on it, you know? Um, you know, and, you know, all of a sudden he's telling them, it's like, oh, you know, it's like whenever you hear this type of thing or this type of thing, when they say this, like, oh, I got to talk to my wife. Why are they saying that? Guys don't talk to their wives when they want something. The reason why they all of a sudden want to talk to their wives is because they don't trust you and you haven't convinced them that this is something that they want and blah, blah, blah. And he starts going through, like, he starts telling them like how to think about like taking the other person's emotional state and then manipulating it in a way where it's like it convinces them that they're making a decision when they're actually being manipulated. And I'm listening to that and I go, holy shit, it's like, why does this sound like every sales YouTube video I've seen in the past couple of years? Like, what the fuck? Like it literally sounds like the exact same script a lot of these scammy salespeople that I would watch trying to get like some kind of marketing idea from. You know, and before Jose told me that, it's like, look, this marketing stuff doesn't work for us because all they're doing, this is a strategy for churning and burning an audience. This is not a strategy that works when you're nurturing an audience that you want them to buy your stuff over and over and over again. You know, with this is the type of marketing stuff that you only have to sell the Bugatti once. You only have to sell exterminator services once. You know, it's like you don't have to like get the same people, you know, back. It's like you just sell it once and then you churn and burn that audience. What we do, the reason why this marketing doesn't work with us is because we're selling the same, like a different, we're selling a series to the same people. And we need them to stay. So, which means that in the end, you have to give them, we have to give them a reason to keep coming back. And that reason is our story. It is the story, essentially. It's like you have to give them a story that's enjoyable enough that they want the next issue.
Right.
You know, so there is no churning and burning that audience. That's what variant covers are for.
Right.
You know? So then it's like, I go, you know, didn't this guy go to prison? And Jose goes, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, but he's out now or something. Like he didn't spend that much time in prison because I forgot the guy's name, but it's like he went to prison for pretty much doing like pump and dump stock schemes. That's where the Security and Exchanges Commission comes in. You know, he was doing Haktua before there was Haktua. So so I looked him up on Wikipedia. And it's like, yeah, so he was sentenced to 4 years in prison, spent about 2 years in prison. And then when he came out, I think this was like in the 2000s when he came out, he started doing the lecture circuit, right? And it was mostly like business motivation, right? And the other thing that he got into was sales training. And all that shit that I'm seeing on YouTube, he was the one that came up with that type of sales training. So every one of these jackasses on YouTube that I was watching about, how you can get over like people's, whatever the fuck to get them to, that's from him. All that is from this Wolf of Wall Street dude who scammed millions, right? Went to prison, right? And it's like, and now he teaches assholes on YouTube how to be salespeople. Marketing's bullshit. It really is. It really is. I don't regret a thing. Marketing's bullshit. Oh my God. So here, you know what? I think this is where we should end it. So, I mean, we're at an hour and a half on the dot. We've come full circle. Yes, we have. Dovetails nicely. I would like to thank everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you so much for putting in your 2 cents in this economy. I'd like to thank our beautiful eyeball people for listening, even if you weren't in the chat. At least you were listening. You had us in the background. You could have been listening to anything else, but instead you wanted to listen to Nina coughing in your ear and me just rambling.
I did mute.
Right. Rambling about my neuroses of the day. So, no, it's not really a neuroses. That's also the thing that
it's a neuroses.
It really is. It is. But the thing is though, because Jose goes, why do you keep like thinking about this shit? And in the end, it's like, well, because in the end, I'm trying to find topics that are interesting for the vlogs. And sometimes it requires me to ruminate on stuff that maybe is not really healthy for me to ruminate on, but I'm trying to make conversation here. So, I don't know. So that's what, so again, thank you so much for having us in the background, listening to us. We appreciate every single one of you joining us today,
except for the one of you that's hate listening.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's always somebody who's hate listening. That's true. That's true. To that person, I say, go outside. Either go outside or get therapy. Just do something productive, bro. Go to a museum. Go to a park. Go take a walk. There's no reason to hate listen to us or hate watch us. Go do something that you actually like doing. It's okay. You're not supposed to like everybody in your life.
That would be madness.
So again, thank you everybody for joining us. So like I said, we'll see you end of February when I'm back. Well, if a certain thing happens this week, yeah, I'll be back in February. If not, we'll just continue normally. You guys will know. So and like I said, indiecomicsnetwork.com. You can find
.com.
You can find us there. And yeah, so it's like just subscribe to the network so that you can keep track of all of the shows that we still have there. Randy's show, Jose's show, Rob's show with Jose, Marvin, Jose and Marvin did a show just last night with they were talking to a retailer. So make sure that not only are you subscribed to my channel at Daphne Lage Art, but that you're also subscribed to the Indie Comics Network, and you can help us grow that way as well. So if you're interested in comic book discussions and business and that type of thing, that'll be the place for you. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and my Kickstarters and all that other stuff, you can head on over to my portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can read Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn for free. And remember, issue 12 is on pre-launch on Kickstarter right now. Link is in the chat and in the show notes. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILSonline.com. And you can read an archive of over 1,000 pages that you can check out and keep busy over there. So also, don't forget, on either of those websites, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter where oh yeah, there we go. You can sign up for my newsletter either on the websites, or you can click on the QR code right here. We can keep up to date with all of my new art, my sketchbooks, comics, Kickstarters, and also you can get a free PDF comics bundle for joining. You can pick up Eagle Raven, read Eagle Raven for free, Tall Tales for free, and the Oswald Chronicles for free, just for signing up. Just scan the QR code or go to my website there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do your work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
Dude, it won't play my outro. Okay, this is the outro. Goodbye.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.